Hey guys, in my last haul video, I threatened you with an out of my comfort zone video using the Huda Beauty Neon Obsessions palette in orange. And I wanted to actually pair it with the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette because I really love this palette. I've had this for much longer than the Huda Beauty palette, but I really haven't used it that much because these colors are just not really in my comfort zone. We have some in here that are very, more on the neutral side, but most of this is very colorful, very summery, and they're just not colors that I reach for very often. And when I purchased this completely out of the blue, I thought, oh, maybe I can kind of pair them and create an eye look using, a couple from both, because this Neon Obsessions palette is really just all neons. This is a great kind of like add-on palette to maybe something a little bit more neutral. Like there really isn't that much of a transition shade in here for me, but in the true sense of getting out of my comfort zone, I want to use colors in ways that I wouldn't normally think to and see if I can grow as a person throughout this process. So let's go ahead and get started. I have foundation, concealer, and powder down. I didn't do anything else, even though we're just going to be doing eyes today together and maybe picking out a lip together. But I thought I would just kind of wait to do, especially blush. I would wait to see like how the eyes turned out and then go from there. So I've actually taken out my synthetic brushes to use because this is a pressed pigment palette, which basically means I think it's using some pigments that are not necessarily considered eye safe. Am I thinking of that correctly? Don't quote me on that. But with that in mind, I didn't really want to use like some of my natural hair brushes that are white especially and have them stain. So I took out a bunch of synthetic haired brushes. That's what we're going to be using today. So I was kind of playing around with a lot of these colors like on the back of my hand, trying to see like what colors I want you to use and how. And I think I want to start with this color right up here. This is like the neon orange matte color in here. And I want to use that as a transition shade. And I'm going to start with my Sigma small tapered blending brush. It's the E45 brush. It's just like it's a great small little like blending brush. So I'm going to start there and just going to add this to like the socket line crease area and the outer corner here. This neon palette is it's so timely. I think it's perfect for the summertime, and it's so electric and it's so like hot looking. And here in Vegas, it is like broiling. When I wake up in the morning, it's like 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And it gets up to like almost 110 here. And it's just been brutally, brutally hot. Like when you're sitting in your car and you're driving and the sun is beating down, you can have your AC blasting and you're still hot, you're still sweating. It's really something I just don't think I'll ever get used to. Okay, what I'm gonna do is go into this Morgan color in the Sunrise palette. I'm gonna just use the same brush, and I just want to kind of blend out this top edge just a little bit. I think this peachy color should work. All right, so far, I know we haven't done much, but so far, I feel like this looks okay. I feel like this doesn't look too awful. Let's go ahead and go back to the neon palette, and I want to use something a little bit darker, so I guess I'll go into this purpley, well, it's like an ultraviolet shade. And maybe I should use a brush a little bit smaller. All right, I found my Persona brush. This actually is a brush that comes with her like Color Theory eye kit. It's like the perfect shape for what I'm looking for. There's a little bit of density there because the bristles aren't that long, but it's like kind of flat, kind of domed. I think this will work well with this ultraviolet color. So I'm gonna go in very lightly and add this to, ooh, wow, that's really bright. Ooh, that's kind of amazing. Okay, there is that neon pink color down. I don't think it's even at all, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. I was having problems getting the pigment to stick to, actually I think you can see it. There's like one spot on my eyelid. It's not just with this eyeshadow. It is with like eyeshadows in general. It's one of those really, really weird spots on my eyelid where just things just don't like to stick there. I really kind of have to like press it on and work it in. And it's a little bit better. But anyway, I don't want to keep messing with the area too much. So I think we're okay with the two sides. Let's move on. So next I want to go into this fluorescent color. It's a little bit of a lighter orange than this one. And I just want to sweep this kind of all over the rest of my lid. I've got my Charlotte Tilbury eye blender brush, and I'm going to dip in pretty generously and just sweep this all over. I love how I said sweep this all over like it was a question, because really don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know if it's this brush or this shade, but I feel like it's not as pigmented as the other ones. Like with the pink, I had to be really, really careful. And with this application, I kept going in dip after dip to kind of build it up to where it is now. Let me try a denser brush just to see if it was indeed the brush and not the shadow. I'm gonna try this domed utility one, this Sigma E34. Oh yeah, I think it was the brush. I think this one maybe was just a little bit too light and fluffy for what I was looking for. So I'm just going to add a little bit more on with this E34. All right, so I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with these colors. I'm gonna go back into this ultraviolet. I'm gonna use this domed utility brush, and I just wanna bring it like into my socket line a little bit more. I'm going to take this Persona brush again and just kind of run that over. All right, and then I want to add a little bit of yellow to the like inner portion of my lid just to kind of brighten it up a little bit. And I have three like very bright yellow options. So there's one in the Huda Beauty, and then there's two in the Sunrise palette. So there's this one and this one, which has a bit more orange in there. I wonder if I should go for this orange one, because I feel like maybe it'll kind of blend into this orange shade a little bit better. Let's start there. We can always, I think, build on top of it if we want to go even brighter. All right, I'm going to use my Sigma E32 brush. It's like a flat shader, but it's very small. You can see it compared to my fingertip. It's very small. And since I just want to get onto like the inner portion of my lid, I think this size is great. So let's give this a shot. I think on the lid, on top of that Huda color, I feel like it has ended up just creating this really pretty bright orange color. I feel like it's completely overpowered that Huda Beauty color. All right, so I'm just gonna run this all over that other Huda color because I kind of like it. I like it a little bit more. See how this one's so much brighter than this one? This one's just a little bit too faint. And that was this shade in here that I was afraid maybe just wasn't quite as pigmented as like these two. Okay, going back in with that Persona blending brush and blending all that out. Okay, I'm gonna try this Charlotte Tilbury brush. Again, this one that was like, it was a little bit too light and fluffy for this other color. I'm gonna go into this pink shade right in the middle at the bottom there. And I'm gonna just use this hopefully to blend everything out. I'm not liking what's happening between like the orange and my lid and that other pink color. It just looks a little funky. Well, these pressed pigments are definitely a little bit more difficult to blend out than I am used to. They're kind of like sticky, and they're just a little bit not quite as like blended out and like smoked out as I like. It just looks a little bit blotchy, but I would imagine with colors like these and in this formula, that's got to be typical. All right, I'm going to try adding this color just onto the inner portion of my lid, maybe over the center of it. I'm going to use my Esom W21 brush. I'm going to wet it with some Fix Plus and then go into that shade. We'll see how this goes. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna let that kind of like dry a little bit, and then I want to see if I can blend out the edges. What I noticed was when I was actually using like a swiping motion, it was definitely picking up the shadow underneath. So I started to kind of just like press and pat the shadow down, and I think that helped a lot. All right, I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury blender brush and see if I can soften up these edges a little bit. I don't think it needs to be softened up. It's kind of like a cut crease kind of a look, but that wasn't what I was going for, and I am curious how this shadow behaves once it's dried down. That's really interesting. Like wetting the shadow actually kind of turns it into like a liquid shadow and like kind of behaves like a liquid shadow, not just physically a liquid shadow. You guys know what I mean. Wow, that was special. Okay, I'm gonna take my finger and go back into this yellow shade and just tap some on top and maybe some along the edges here. I don't mind the top edge not being so, you know, blended out. I don't mind that kind of being like a strong line, but I want it a little bit more blended between these two shadows. That just looks kind of weird. So that's what I'm doing with my finger here. I'm hoping to blend that out a little bit more. That definitely looks funky. I'm gonna go back into this shade and try and soften that edge a little bit. Okay, that is looking a little bit better. What do you guys think? I feel a little bit like an atomic unicorn just took a dump on my eyelid, but again, this is out of my comfort zone, so maybe I'll get used to it. But let's go ahead and add the yellow to this eye. All right, I definitely need something along my lower lash line. Should I just go for it and use this shade on my lower lash line? Should I do something crazy? Maybe the yellow? No. Okay, I'm gonna use this color on my lower lash line, and I am going to use this E34 brush. And now I'm gonna take this yellow shade and I'm gonna use that, the inner portion of my lower lash line here. Okay. All right, I'm gonna finish up like the rest of my face makeup, and then we'll come back and like pick out a lip together, because I'm not exactly sure what goes with this. Like, do you want a matchy-matchy? Do you want to just do a nude because you want this to be the focus? I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure that out together. So I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, it is time for lips. I finished up everything. I put on eyeliner, mascara, did my brows. I used a little bit of contour. I skipped bronzer. I just did contour, a little bit of blush, and a little bit of highlighter. I'll have everything listed down below in my description box. So now's the time to pick out lips. Of course, the first ones I gravitated towards were the new Lisa Eldridge lipsticks because they're so neon themselves. I think it's either going to look great or it's going to look way too much. So I'm just trying to figure out which one I should try. Maybe Rainbow. Either Rainbow Spill or Skyscraper Rose. Those are the two demi-matte ones. Okay. We're going to try Rainbow Spill first. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so there's Rainbow Spill. What do we think? Does it feel like we're committing to neon, or do I look like a clown? I kind of feel like I look like a clown. I feel like I can't pull off both. I feel like it's one or the other. Do the eyes or do the lips. But this together, it's a bit much. But that is Rainbow Spill. You guys let me know down below in the description box what you guys think. Really, can't wait to hear your thoughts on this whole look. So I'm going to take this off and then let's try a nude. Okay, this is In Love with Olivia. I wonder if that's too warm, like too peachy. I don't know. That could work. Here's JK Magic. I don't know. Here is Bond Number 9, Gramercy Park. I think I want something cooler. Okay, I just grabbed a whole bunch of lipsticks. Let's see. This is Devore from Tom Ford. This is one of those cooler tone lipsticks I like. I don't know. I don't know. Like, what goes with a neon eyeshadow look? I did grab Lavender Extreme because I thought, do we just want to go there? Like, that could be fun. Maybe we need to put that one on just to see what happens. I also grabbed Hudson Yards from Bond Number 9. Oh, see that? That could work. I kind of like the way that looks. So I'll leave that out. And then I have Madame Grige from Pat McGrath. I think that's too purpley. And then my favorite, Los Angeles. Too brown. I feel like it's too deep. So, all right, just for, you know, shits and giggles, let's try Lavender Extreme. No. All right, let's try Hudson Yards. I feel confident that this is going to be the one. So I think this Bond Number 9, Hudson Yards, is the winner, at least for me. I feel like it's neutral enough that it just kind of just looks like my lips but better, so the focus is really just on the eyes. If I was a completely different person, I would probably like the Rainbow Spill because I thought it actually like went well together. It was way too much. It was a lot. It was just a lot, I feel like, for one face. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into this out of my comfort zone video. I have not done one of these in a very long time, and this was a lot of fun. And I think I did an okay job. You guys let me know down in the comments section. Thanks again so much for spending time with me, hanging out, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.